Hello everybody, welcome to the Mystery Steamboat channel. If you subscribed already, a big thumbs up to you. If you're not subscribed, there's a button for subscriptions, a little bell for notifications when I upload a new video. Now this little series is called My Favourites, and it could be a top 10 of my favourite subject. So it might be books, it could be CDs, it could be movies, it could be TV. Let's just see what this episode is all about. Right, this episode is my favourite top 10 books. I took little pictures here to remind me because there are lots, and to be honest, I've kind of cheated here. I've actually got 11 books because it's very hard to knuckle it down. I'll have pictures appear on the screen of the books that I've got. You know, I've got a lot of books dotted around all over the place. Now, I think the first book I will start with is The 100 by Cass Morgan. They are good books. I think they're for young adults, so I'm clinging on to my youth because I'm a young adult. But I love the TV series, The 100. If you've not seen The 100, it's on series 5 now, I believe. It's a very, very good series. Watch it. It's and the books. I've only read one book so far. She's done 4 books. I've only read one so far, but I love the books that I've read so far. They're really good. Sci-fi type apocalyptic books, but yeah, very, very good books. So give her a check out, Cass Morgan. The next one I've got on there, I've not got the actual signed book in front of me, so I can only put a picture of him when I met him. Is Ray Harryhausen, and this particular book is the book that I got signed, and it is just wonderful. It is just full of lovely pictures. Ray Harryhausen, if you don't know, he is the man who created iconic films from Jason the Argonauts, Clash the Titans, Sinbad and the Eye of the Tiger, Seventh Voyage of Sinbad, all those sort of films with stop animation monsters in. He sort of got his inspiration from watching from watching King Kong. And he thought, I want to get into this. So he then, created a whole series of films, wonderful films, which for me have stood the test of time. And then it's a wonderful book. I'm not sure if it's still around there, if it's on eBay or Amazon. It might be quite pricey, but it's a wonderful, wonderful book. If you are slightly interested in Harryhausen, buy this book. It's beautiful. The amount of pictures in it, behind the scenes pictures, it's a beautiful, beautiful book. Now my next book is from Anne Rice. I've not got any of her books signed, but I have got, you just seen pop up, a signed photo from her which was sent through. Anne Rice, I was reading a lot of books when I worked in London, going to London on the train, and I read a lot of Anne Rice stuff because at the time I was buying Kerrang magazine, which is a heavy metal British magazine. And they always used to ask 3 questions to the various rock stars, guitarists, singers, drummers, whoever. Favourite CD, favourite movie, favourite book. And so many of them were saying one of the Anne Rice books. So I thought I must give it a check out. So I did a bit of research as to what was her first book. So I want the first book, but the first book in this particular series. And it is possibly the better book of the series. And that's The Interview with the Vampire. Now, if you've seen the movie with Tom Cruise, forget the movie because the book is far, far better. The follow-up to that was the Vampire Lestat, which is really good. You had Queen of the Damned, then you had the Vampire Almond, and there's a whole series of the Vampire Chronicles books. But read the first one, see if you can get into it. It just oozes style. Very, 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 very good book. Very good book. Next one I've got is an autobiography. I've got quite a lot of autobiographies. That's what I enjoy reading the most, an autobiography. And I've got Matt Lucas because his book is called Little Me from A to Z, and it is so funny. It's very rare that I read a book and I actually laugh out loud. I've laughed out loud in his books. Yes, I like him in Little Britain and any other things he's been on telly. He's funny. He's a funny bloke, but it really is a laugh out loud book, and I don't normally say that about any book really. A very, very funny book. So I'm not sure that's on paperback yet. I know it's on. I've got it on hardback. But yeah, again, another book to check out. If you love Matt Smith, definitely buy that book. So funny, so funny. Next one is a Stephen King book. I've read lots of Stephen King books. For me, it's a toss-up between two. It or The Stand. That's his best book. And I think if pushed down, I'll probably say The Stand, because it's a really, really thick book, but it's a wonderful book. And I think because it features the walking dude, I'm sure that's the walking dude is kind of sung about by an Anthrax song, Anthrax heavy metal band, Among the Living. That's their single. I'm sure that's the inspiration from that song. I'm the walking dude. But that's a very thick book. But again, Stephen King just oozes style, narrative style. You could potentially, prune it down to half the amount of words, but he doesn't. And they're good books. Now, my next book is another autobiography again, surprisingly, and it is Charlton Heston, In the Arena, which I got signed. Now, I didn't unfortunately meet him. I'd love to have met Charlton Heston. I just love Charlton Heston. I'd love to have met him. But the bookshop I was in, the local bookshop, actually had a few signed copies in, and I couldn't believe it. It's like, you've got a signed copy of this book in, because what some of the authors do, they don't necessarily go to a shop to sign it. They'll literally go to the agent, sign so many books, and then just send them out to the various bookshops. So that's what they did with this particular one, Into the Arena. And not be funny, Charlton Heston has been in everything. He's been in so many films. I probably said it in another blog. So many films. Ben-Hur, it's a hugely brilliant film. 10 Commandments, Earthquake. The list goes on and on and on and on. And it's a great book if you love Charlton Heston, and I love Charlton Heston. So that's definitely going to be in there. The next book is another autobiography. One of my favourite books I've read from a heavy metal person, and I met him in Kent, Ozzy Osbourne. I love Ozzy Osbourne anyway. Black Sabbath to a point, but when he became Ozzy the solo singer, that's why I love him more. And he was at Blue Water doing a book signing, so I got that. That's a very good book. I've read a few heavy metal books, but that's probably the one that stands out the most as my favourite heavy metal autobiography. The next one, again, is another icon of British cinema. Again, met him in London and got this book signed, and it is Christopher Lee. Christopher Lee, again, he's been in everything. Yes, he pops up in Lord of the Rings, and he pops up in Star Wars Episode 2 and 3, but he's known for his Hammer horror. He's been in so many Hammer horror films from the 60s, 70s as Dracula, and check out Hammer horror films. He was also Fu Manchu. I've got some of those somewhere too. The Legends of Fu Manchu. They're about a 5-6 movie series. Really cool. And he's even in, if you're watching Disney, he's in Disney as well. He was in, I forget which one it is. It's either Escape to Witch Mountain or Return to Witch Mountain. He's in one of those films. Just love. And he's, again, a very, very good book. Very good book. Next one is, again, another book sign I went to, because there's only one Bond for me. That's Roger Moore. And I've got a Roger Moore book signed by the man himself, again in Kent. That was, love Roger Moore. The best Bond. I might do another 10 questions as my favourite Bond films, because there's been a lot of Bond films, obviously, and they're not all going to be Roger Moore, but yeah, Roger Moore is the best. And he's been in, again, a lot of films. The film that kind of stood out for me was not even a Bond film. He popped up in a comedy called Boat Trip. If you've never seen that, try and check that out, because I never thought Roger Moore would do comedy, and he was really funny in it, really funny. So yeah, but a really, really nice bloke. He was a really nice bloke. Next book was another autobiography, so I just love the autobiographies. Another Hollywood legend, and that is Jane Fonda. Again, she's been in so many wonderful, wonderful films. For me, a standout film was Barbarella. Love Barbarella. But she was in, what was it now? The Western film. I should have googled it now. She's been in a Western film. That was quite a good film. She's been in loads of films as well. So that, but I love reading autobiographies more than anything else because I'm quite a nosy person. So, and a biography is good, but an autobiography means it's coming from their words, you know, what they want to reveal about their life. So that's why I prefer autobiographies. But yeah, a great book, Jane Fonda. Love Jane Fonda. And then my final book, because it's now book 11, I'm well aware that I've broke my rules already, is a chef book. It's a baking book, it's a recipe book. It's from Michel Roux Senior. So if you've seen MasterChef in years gone by, you had Michel Roux Junior, and he's good. I've got one of his books signed. He's a good chef, don't get me wrong. Michel Roux Senior is older. Don't ask me how old he is. He's probably 70s now. I'm guessing he might be older than that. But he's got a book called Pastry. And if you want to do anything pastry related, be it a sweet pastry or what's the other pastry? You know, like not sour. You know what I mean? Like a appetizer pastry. It's a wonderful book. It actually shows you how to make pastry. Because generally in most cookbooks they assume you know the basics, you know, and it is a wonderful, wonderful book. Again, I got it signed. It was at his restaurant somewhere in England, and they was said, "You're going to buy that book, we get it signed in the process." So I had that come for as a signed book. It's only a very small book, you know. Some of these books are huge, but it's only quite a small book. But it's one of my favourite cookery book. Even though I don't really cook, I love looking at pictures of cookery books, thinking, well, what could I cook if I actually got off my bum and done some cooking? But that would be it. But yeah, if you do love cooking, do try and check that out. It's probably on Amazon, probably on eBay. If you look for Michel Roux, find his restaurants, or there might be a website for him. He will sell books, and he may even sign them as well still. Just check that book out. Thanks for watching. There will be another episode soon of what my next set of favourite top 10s are. What will they be?